The CW Television Network is an American broadcast television network that is operated by the CW Network, LLC, a limited liability joint venture between CBS Corporation, the former owners of the United Paramount Network, and the Warner Bros.Entertainment division of Time Warner, a former majority owner of the WB Television Network. The CW name is an initialism derived from the first letters of the names of its two parent corporations. The network made its debut on September 18, 2006, after its two predecessors, UPN and the WB, respectively ceased independent operations on September 15 and September 17 of that year. The CW's first two nights of programming on September 18 and 19, 2006 consisted of reruns and launch-related specials. The CW marked its formal launch date on September 20, 2006, with the 2-hour premiere of the seventh cycle of America's Next Top Model. The network's programming lineup is intended to appeal mainly to young adults between the ages of 18 and 34. The network currently runs programming 6 days a week, airing Monday through Fridays in the afternoon and in prime time, along with a Saturday morning live-action educational programming block produced by Litton Entertainment called One Magnificent Morning. The CW is also available in Canada on cable, satellite and IPTV providers through stations owned and operated by CBS Corporation and affiliates that are located within proximity to the Canada-United States border. It is also available through 3 affiliates owned by Tribune Media that are classified in that country as superstations: New York City affiliate WPIX, Los Angeles affiliate KTLA and Chicago affiliate WGN-TV. The CW is also available in Mexico through affiliates located near the Mexico-United States border on pay television providers. In both countries, some CW affiliates are receivable over the air in border areas depending on the station's signal coverage. History: 1993 to 2006. Origins: the CW Television Network is a successor to the WB and the United Paramount Network, both of which launched within 1 week of each other in January 1995, with the former making its debut first on January 11 and the latter premiering 5 days later on January 16. Both networks, however, can be seen as descendants of the Primetime Entertainment Network, which launched in September 1993 as a joint venture between Warner Bros.Entertainment and Chris-Craft Industries. The two companies later became partners in the WB and UPN, with PTEN continuing in operation as a separate syndication service until it folded in September 1997. UPN and the WB both began just as the Fox network had started to secure a foothold with American television audiences. The two networks launched to limited fanfare and generally mediocre to poor results. However, over the subsequent 111 half-seasons, both were able to air several series that became quite popular. Towards the end of the first decade on the air, the WB and UPN were in decline, unable to reach the audience share or have the effect that Fox had gained within its first decade, much less that of the big three networks. In the 11 years that UPN and the WB were in operation, the two networks lost a combined $2 billion. Incidentally, Chris-Craft Industries, Viacom and Time Warner officials had discussed a possible merger of UPN and the WB as early as September 1995, only 9 months after the respective launches. However, discussions ultimately broke down over issues on how to combine Chris-Craft and Tribune. Broadcasting station interests in the proposal to merge the networks, since the two companies' station portfolios overlapped with one another in several major markets than facing questionable futures as separate networks. Executives from CBS and Time Warner announced on January 24, 2006, that they would respectively shut down UPN and the WB, and combine resources to form a new broadcast network, to be known as the CW Television Network, that would, at the outset, feature programming from both of its predecessors to be, as well as new content developed specifically for the new network. CBS Chairman Leslie Moonves explained that the name of the new network was formed from the first letters of CBS and Warner Bros., joking, "We couldn't call it the WC for obvious reasons." Quote, although some executives reportedly disliked the new name, Moonves stated in March 2006 that there was zero chance the name would change, citing research claiming 48% of the target demographic were already aware of the CW name. In May 2006, the CW announced that it would pick up a combined 13 programs from its two predecessors to air as part of the network's inaugural fall schedule. 7 series held over from the WB and 6 held over from UPN. Upon the network's launch, the CW chose to use the scheduling model utilized by the WB due in part to the fact that it had a more extensive base programming schedule than UPN, allowing for a larger total of weekly programming hours for the new network to fill. The WB was programming 6 days and 13 hours per week at this time, plus its children's block, Kids WB. 2006 to 2011 beginnings. Like both UPN and the WB, the CW targets its programming towards younger audiences. CBS and Time Warner hoped that combining the network's schedules and affiliate lineups would strengthen the CW into a fifth major broadcast network. 1 week before the network's official launch on September 11, 2006, a new, full version of the network website, www.cwtv.com, was launched. The website began to feature more in-depth information about the CW's shows. The CW launched with a premiere special launch party from the CBS-produced entertainment tonight at Warner Bros. Studios in Burbank, California on September 18, 2006. After a repeat of the 10th season finale of Seventh Heaven, the same schedule was repeated on September 19th, with the 6th season finale of Gilmore Girls airing in the second hour of prime time. The network continued to air season finales from the previous season through the remainder of the first week, except for America's Next Top Model and WWE SmackDown, which respectively began the new seasons on September 20th and September 22nd, with 2-hour premieres. When Top Model made its network premiere on September 20th, 2006, the CW scored a 3.4 rating, 5 share in the Nielsen household ratings. It scored a 2.6 rating among adults 18 to 49, finishing 4th in that age demographic and beating the 2.2 rating earned by Fox on that night. The network's second week consisted of season and series premieres for all of its other series from September 25th to October 1st, with the exception of Veronica Mars, which debuted its third season on October 3rd. Despite having several of the most popular programs carried over from UPN and the WB as part of its schedule, the CW, even though it experienced some success with newer programs that launched in subsequent seasons which became modest hits, largely struggled to gain an audience foothold throughout its first 5 years on the air. Because of declining viewership for the network during the 2007-08 season and effects from the Writers Guild of America strike, the network announced on March 4, 2008 that it would eliminate its comedy department, while also combining its drama and current programming departments into a single scripted programming unit. The corporate restructuring, which also included the elimination of certain positions, other newly opened positions being left unfilled, layoffs from the Kids WB unit, and the elimination and transfer of marketing positions at the CW Plus to the network's marketing department, resulted in the layoffs of around 25 to 30 employees. On May 9, 2008, the CW announced that it would lease its Sunday lineup to production company Media Rights Capital, as Sundays have historically been a low-rated night for the network during its first 2 seasons on the air. The move allowed the CW to concentrate on its Monday through Saturday prime-time schedule, while giving MRC the right to develop and schedule programs of its own choosing and reap advertising revenue generated by the lineup. The Sunday series that were scheduled, 2 reality series and 2 scripted series, performed poorly in the ratings, prompting the CW to scrap its agreement with MRC in program Sunday nights on its own starting on November 30, 2008. With no first-run programming available to run on Sundays as a backup, the network added reruns of The Drew Carey Show and Jericho, and movies to replace the MRC-produced programs. One of the shows carried over to the network from UPN, WWE Friday Night SmackDown, ended its run on the CW after the September 26, 2008 episode due to negotiations ending between the WWE and the CW on renewing the program. Representatives from the CW later confirmed that it had chosen not to continue carrying SmackDown because the network had redefined its target audience as exclusively females 18 to 34 years old, whereas SmackDown targeted a predominantly male audience, although it continued to air some shows that targeted male viewers afterward, such as Smallville and Supernatural. Following SmackDown's move to My Network TV that same season, the Fox-owned network began beating the CW in the Friday ratings every week from that program's debut on the network. Though the CW continued to beat My Network TV overall, SmackDown would eventually leave broadcast television altogether in October 2010, when the program moved to the Sci-Fi cable channel. The CW has generally struggled in the Nielsen ratings since its inception, primarily placing 5th in all statistics tabulated by Nielsen. On several occasions, the CW has even been outrated by Spanish-language network Univision. This had led to speculation within the industry that CBS Time Warner, both companies, could abandon the venture if ratings did not improve. However, the CW's fortunes were buoyed in the 2008-09 and 2009-10 television seasons thanks to increased ratings among females in the 18 to 34 demographic and the buzz that some of its newer series had generated with audiences. Executives with CBS Corporation and Time Warner also emphasized the commitment to the network. On May 5, 2009, the CW announced that it would give the 5 hours of network time on Sundays back to its affiliated stations that fall, effectively becoming a weeknight-only network in prime time, in addition to the CW Daytime and the CW 4 Kids blocks. This, in turn, resulted in the discontinuance of the Sunday late afternoon repeat block that the CW inherited from the WB through its use of the predecessor network's scheduling model. Subsequently, in mid-May, 65% of the CW's affiliates, including those carrying the CW+, signed agreements to continue to air the replacement MGM Showcase movie package on Sundays, which was offered as a traditional syndicated film package meant for the CW's former primetime slot on that night. 2011-2012 New leadership. On April 28, 2011, Mark Pedowitz was appointed by the network to succeed original president of entertainment Dawn Ostroff. Pedowitz assumed broader responsibilities in the CW's business operations than Ostroff had. As the network's first president, as president of entertainment, Ostroff oversaw entertainment operations while John Marta, the network's chief operating officer, handled business affairs. Both reported to a board composed of CBS and Warner Bros. Executives. Marta began reporting to Pedowitz as a result of the latter's appointment as network president. Pedowitz revealed that the core target demographic of the network would not change, though the CW would attempt to lure new viewers. Pedowitz began looking to bring comedies back to the CW after former president Dawn Ostroff publicly declared that the difficulty of developing comedies for its target demographic is the reason for the removal from the network following the 2008-09 season. The network also ordered more episodes of its original series and ran them consecutively through the first week of December, starting on September 12 without repeats. In July 2012, Pedowitz no longer referred to the target demographic of the CW as women 18 to 34, but rather that it would now be an 18 to 34 adult network. 2012 present. Breakthrough. The CW began to experience more success with the introduction of action superhero series Arrow, which received favorable reviews from critics and became a hit with audiences when it premiered in September 2012. As evidence of the network's refocusing toward a more inclusive audience, Arrow not only premiered to some of the highest viewership totals in the network's history, it also gave the network its strongest performance in the demographic of males 18 to 34 since Smallville ended its run in May 2011. Around this time, the network introduced an image campaign under the TV Now slogan, in part to emphasize the availability of CW content across television, computer and mobile platforms. The CW continued to build momentum in subsequent seasons. The network finally found success with its summer programming in 2013, with the revival of the U.S. version of the improv comedy series Whose Line Is It Anyway, which later became part of the network's fall to spring schedule. This was subsequently followed in 2014 by the strong performance of mid-season sci-fi drama The 100. On November 21, 2013, the CW beat NBC for the first time in the key demographic of adults 18 to 49 for a single calendar night. On April 28, 2014, CBS and the CW announced that they would begin jointly coordinating advertising sales. The two networks will continue to set pricing for commercials independently of one another, but the sales teams now coordinate and share resources in research and other areas to develop strategies that bring value to advertising. Rob Tuck, Executive Vice President of Sales for the CW, would continue to report to Mark Pedowitz, but with added direction from CBS President of Sales Joanne Ross. On October 14, 2014, the CW announced that John Marta would step down as its executive vice president. Marta is the longest-serving executive of the CW, having transitioned from his post as chief operating officer at the WB. Marta also holds the distinction of being the first employee hired by the WB, after that network's co-founder Jamie Kellner. Company-wide cutbacks at Time Warner resulted in the Warner Bros.Entertainment division instituting several layoffs and the elimination of executive positions at the CW in November 2014. One of these positions belonged to Senior Vice President of Alternative Programming Kristen Connolly Vardas, one of two alternative programming executives at the CW, who had been in charge of the network's unscripted projects since 2008. Vardas had been working alongside Justin Rosenblatt, who will remain the CW's sole alternative programming executive. The 2014-15 season saw the premieres of three critically acclaimed shows that also earned strong ratings: Arrow's spin-off The Flash, the freshman comedy drama Jane the Virgin, and freshman offbeat crime dramedy iZombie. The Flash surpassed 90,210 as the second highest-rated program in the network's history. Jane the Virgin, meanwhile, earned some of the highest critical praise of any series during the 2014-15 television season, and during its first season, became the first CW series ever to have been nominated for and win a Golden Globe Award. iZombie, which premiered as a mid-season replacement, earned both strong ratings and critical acclaim. Overall, the network ended the 2014-15 season posting its highest average total viewership in a single television season since 2007-08 with 2.15 million viewers, a 12% increase in total viewership year-to-year. The CW also posted its highest seasonal demographic ratings among males ages 18 to 49 with a 0.8 share. The network's summer 2015 schedule also saw the debut of Significant Mother, the first original half-hour sitcom to air on the CW since 2009. The 2015-16 season saw two shows that received similar success: the freshman musical comedy drama Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and the Arrow Flash spin-off DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend became one of the most critically acclaimed shows of the season and became the second show on the network to be nominated and win a Golden Globe Award. DC's Legends of Tomorrow, meanwhile, earned high ratings for the network and becoming the most watched show on the network's Thursday night block in 2 years. Although it was plagued by mixed reviews, the 2016 series Containment was a major production for this network. Even before all 13 episodes had aired, the CW announced on May 12, 2016 that no additional episodes would be ordered. Programming. As of September 2015, the CW currently provides 20 hours of regularly scheduled network programming each week, over the course of 6 days. The network provides 10 hours of primetime programming to its owned and operated and affiliated stations on Monday through Fridays from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern and Pacific Time. Outside of prime time, an hour of daytime programming is also offered Monday through Fridays from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. in all time zones, in the form of talk show The Bill Cunningham Show, while weekend programming consists solely of a 5-hour educational programming block called One Magnificent Morning on Saturday mornings from 7 o'clock a.m. a.m. to 12:00 p.m. in all time zones. The weekday daytime hour provided by the network and the Lytton-produced Saturday morning block is designed to be tape-delayed and therefore recommended to air in the same time slot in all time zones, though both are broadcast 1 hour earlier on affiliates of the CW Plus in the Central, Mountain and Alaska time zones. In Guam, CW Plus affiliate KTKBLD in Hagåtña airs the CW scheduled air and date on a one-day tape delay from its initial broadcast because of the time difference between Guam and the continental United States, as the island is on the west side of the international dateline. As of 2016, Supernatural is the only CW series carried over from either of the network's respective predecessors that continues to be broadcast on the network. The CW formerly aired short segments during commercial breaks within certain episodes of its programs known as content wraps, a play on the network's name, in order to advertise one company's product during part of the entirety of a commercial break. The entertainment magazine series CW Now was inspired in part by the success of the content wraps, as it was intended to be a series with product placement. The program was cancelled in 2008 after a single 23-episode season. For the 2006-07 season, the CW reached an agreement with American Eagle Outfitters to incorporate tie-ins with the company's Aerie clothing line as part of the content wrap concept within the network's Tuesday night schedule, which included subjects in the commercials commenting on plot points in each of the shows. The agreement was cut down to regular advertising in February 2007, after a fan backlash by viewers of both shows and general criticism of the campaign. Children's programming on September 23, 2006. The Kids WB children's programming block, which originated on the WB in September 1995 and continued to be produced by Warner Bros. Television, was carried over to the CW as part of its inaugural programming line-up, although the network on which it originated ceased operations. The week before, the Kids WB branding was retained for the block. On October 2, 2007, through a joint decision between corporate parents Warner Bros. Television and CBS Corporation, the CW announced that it would discontinue the Kids WB blog due to competition from cable channels aimed at the demographic, as well as the effects of children's advertising limits, and would sell the programming rights to the network's Saturday morning block to 4Kids Entertainment. Kids WB ended its run on May 17, 2008. The following week, on May 24, 2008, 4Kids took over responsibility for the CW's Saturday morning children's lineup, with the debut of a new block called the CW 4Kids. The block's lineup initially consisted mostly of programs carried over from Kids WB, before eventually adding 4Kids produced shows such as Chaotic, as well as new seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The blog was rebranded into Toonzai on August 14, 2010. Toonzai ended its run on August 18, 2012. On July 3, 2012, Saban Brands and Kidsco Media Ventures, affiliates of Saban Capital Group, entered into an agreement to program the 5-hour Saturday morning time slot with a new action-adventure and comedy programming block for the CW. THECW 4Kids. Toonzai was replaced by Vortex X on August 25, 2012, featuring programs such as Power Rangers Lost Galaxy and WWE Saturday Morning Slam, the latter of which marked the return of WB WWE programming to the network since WWE SmackDown moved to My Network TV in 2008. On June 5, 2014, the CW announced an agreement with Litton Entertainment to program a block of live-action series designed to comply with the FCC's educational programming guidelines. Vortex X was replaced by One Magnificent Morning on October 4, 2014, effectively ending forever the nearly 60-year history of cartoons on Saturday morning television. The blog features a mix of wildlife and lifestyle-themed programs, similar in vein to those featured on the Litton-produced blog shared by ABC and CW sister network CBS. On January 7, 2016, the CW and Litton announced a 5-year renewal for the blog, extending it through the 2020-21 broadcast season.